Now we're ready to add some of those dark and light details. So I think I picked up some brown, but I meant to pick up some green. I think we need to extend this water here under that dock, and then as well there's water here. Oh, that should not be brown, that should be green. So I'll just wipe that off. There we go. And add some of that dark green. That is the color of the water. And we need to pick up some of this bluish color under the dock at the back right here. So wherever that bluish color is, bluish gray, we'll put it under the dock. There we go, extending it. It's going to be, there we go. Okay. And now we'll use a bit of that bluish color for this dock. There we go. And right here as well, the reflection is a little fainter. And we could add those two little ladders. There we go, 1, 2. They're just little spots of interest. That is our focal point. There we go. Reflecting down. Alrighty, and for the back dock, I think we will make that back dock kind of the same reddish brown that we have on the building, and that will be the back dock. Just faintly put that in, going into the trees there. There we go. And of course the reflection. There we go. Reflection isn't quite as strong color, and goes back and forth a little bit. There we go. And we're gonna take that right back into the trees. There we go. Alrighty. And then I think we'll switch to a little brush now. I just see here, I think, oh yeah, we could maybe denote this is the shore edge here before we switch. There, that's the back shore. There we go. And reflecting down a bit. There we go, okay. So now I want to switch to a smaller brush and pick up some of that red for the canoe that we had. A nice reddish color. Not too red. And here is our canoe. Nice curve. Just waiting for somebody to come go for a paddle. There it is. And curving down. Getting a little darker near the bottom. Look at that nice little canoe. Not too much detail. We do want to know it's a canoe, but same thing here. We'll just reflect it. There we go. And just reflect it a little bit. There we go. Okay, that canoe is waiting for you to take it out for a paddle. There we go. All right. So now I am going to go back in, and I'm going to use some of this gray, add a little bit of warmth to it, and say, okay, this is a nice warm dock, and this is where those that ladder is in case you want to get out for a swim. There we go. And there. Okay, enough. Do a little bit, and just a touch for the reflection, not much. There we go. And now we're going to take some of that warm white. This is actually unbleached titanium. And we're going to put the trim on the boathouse. Now notice I'm getting the paint, this paint nice and juicy, adding so it'll spread and make a nice line when I'm putting it on. If it's too thick, it'll glob. If it's too thin, it'll bleed. So it's got to be just the right amount of juice on it. There we go. I'll take some over here. I think it's all right. Let's give it a try. All right, we'll do this line first. There we go. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I'll go back in and do this one. There we go. And now let's do this far one. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to add a little more water. I don't want this one to maybe stand out quite as much. Coming here, coming down off this little roof, and going across. There, just kind of fading out a little bit. There we go. And we will, there we go, that's for there. And there's a little bit of a frame around this little window here. Just a bit, there we go. And we see some light. So I'm gonna really water that down. Some light coming onto this side of the building right here. And of course across the top we see a bit, and all these doors that are in part of the boathouse sliding back and forth. Not sure just what they are, but I'm gonna add a few horizontals and verticals, and the side of the edge, the light's just catching the edge of that building, whatever's hanging up there, and then we'll just gently reflect a bit of that with a bit of watery. There we go. There we go. Got that little window there. There we go. Coming across. Just adding all those little details very lightly. And same with the reflection, is much lighter. So there it is. There it is. Much lighter reflections. And again, we maybe blur them a little bit. You know, they're doing their job. And then I see, I think that's pretty close. I can add a few more dots of light where it's really just hitting the edge of that boathouse. That light. And then this door here. Right off the dock. There we go. And I can see now we need to add a little more darkness to, well, first we'll just check those reflections again there. That one's better. Okay, a little more darkness. So we're going to take ultra blue and burnt sienna. That's a really nice dark. There we go. That's my favorite go-to black color. I don't use black very often. This is a nice rich dark. Okay, so we're going to go in and we want to just accentuate some of those under there. It's right there. Here, that edge of that roof comes down there. It's quite dark in behind here. There we go. Dark under the boathouse, dark under the roof. And then we're also going to see it's quite dark right here. There. And there. And just along the edge there. And this under there is a bit of a shadow. There we go. Just adding those little details to make it look, there we go, like it's 3D. The edge of this shadow is quite dark. Just blending a little bit. Brush or finger? I guess if I had my brush a little handier, I'd probably use it. There we go. Just again, reflecting that. There we go. Making it nice and dark against the yellow. There we go. If we want that to stand out a little more, there we go. A little darkness. And then, of course, where the boathouse is sitting in the water, that's a big dark spot coming down. This is a door or something. We'll have it come down, so reflect that opening a bit. There we are. Okay, and again, going across. There we go. I think I better use a brush to do that blending instead of my finger. There. There we go. And here, it really helps those foreground leaves stick out to darken beside them. Again, showing it is a reflection. A few horizontal squiggles help. There we go. I'll put some of this darkness right in there under the dock, the canoe, reflection going in, the shoreline at the back, behind the dock, coming in. There, I think we're getting close to stopping and having a look. We can pop that canoe a little bit by putting we want a red canoe. Just add it is a focal point. Add a touch of that red, and look at that red canoe. And I think we'll add a bit to that boathouse too. Just a bit of red. There we go. There, just a touch of red. Make it. There we go. I mean, nothing like a good old red boathouse, right? Against that green. So what I'm doing is just a little bit of watery red. That's called a wash. And it really brings out that lovely red against green of the those complements right there. Just nice to have a bit of that extra color singing in there. Okay, and now I think we need to add a bit of yellow. I see, I think I want to make that there. And then, there we go. Okay, now we're gonna go back, just clean that fine brush out, and go back in with some yellow for these foreground trees. So I'm gonna pick a nice warm yellow with some of this earthy tone and see how that works there. We'll just add a bit of light coming in. There we go. Oh yeah, those leaves really need to have that light shining on them. Just a bit. Here we go. Try not to get it to the half point, maybe a third, showing that there are these foreground bushes on the shore. Don't want to do too many. And then I will take that same yellow and really water it down and put just a bit, really dulled water down on some of these background trees, just to show they're not alone. There we go. And a touch of this yellow across the top of the canoe. There we go. A little bit of light hitting it. And of course we have to, if it's up the top, we have to reflect it. There we go. Very watery, very faint. There we go. And we'll have a few spots of light. Again, very watery, very light. Just on the trees at the back. And a bit of light coming there. There we go. A little bit maybe on the dock, I think. Here. Too much, you can see right away when it's too much, so we just take it back. And I think we'll have a little light on these, on the trim here and there, on the sides where the light is hitting it. There we go. And I think it's about time to say, okay, let's take a break, have a look, and see what we think. Soft summer morning.